Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Friday pre-show. Is everyone happy? It's a Friday. Isn't that awesome? We have okay news. We have a power panel where I'm going to be joined by Ben Dixon and Aaron Ryan. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We've got this really embarrassing video of Rudy Giuliani coming up at some point later on today. I think it's looking like a pretty good day. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for being here. I'm John Itarola. A good number of you are here, although a significant number have not yet hit the like button. That seems like an issue we should probably address. But thank you for being here. I am once again relegated to the studio for the pre-show. Yeah. But I do have some good news to get to. Well, not good news, but I think interesting news. We've got an awful person and a group of awful people, but a few people who aren't that awful. How is everyone doing? The first thing that we're going to talk about today is one component of the proposed infrastructure bill. Is it going to be in the final version that they'll try to pass? I don't know. Probably not. Is it going to pass? I don't know. Probably not. But at least initially, in Joe Biden's infrastructure plan, one of the things that we have previously talked about, but I really wanted to double down on a little bit because I think it could be so significant, is the additional funding that is going to go towards electrifying the sort of civilian vehicle fleet in America. And the money is fairly significant. It's $174 billion. I mean, it's nothing compared to it's over a decade, by the way, or close to a decade. It's nothing compared to like our military or anything like that. The money's going to go towards a lot of things, subsidizing the purchase of electrical vehicles and all of that. But I think the most important part is actually the build out of charging infrastructure. So if you don't have you've never had an electric car, like I don't right now, but I did at one point, or maybe this is something that's led to you not getting it. You might know that there's in certain cities a lot of chargers where you can charge your car, fill up a battery, and all that. But in some, not so much. And in rural areas, it might be difficult to charge up your car, unless, of course, in more areas at least, you own a Tesla, they have their superchargers and all that. That's I think a more uniformly distributed charging infrastructure than we have for other cars. So right now there's about 43,000, a little bit shy of 43,000 charging stations across the US, whereas there's 115,000 gas stations, and the gas stations have anywhere from 1 to 8 or 16 or 30 actual stations there. So it is massively lagging, and it seems like it's going to be a little bit difficult to get a lot of people, especially in some parts of the country, to purchase electric vehicles until that's fixed. The issue is that until more people have the electric cars, difficult to get the companies to build out the infrastructure. Here is the perfect example where the government needs to get involved, because that is a very difficult cycle to actually get going, but investment of public funds could get the infrastructure there, people buy more cars, it'll justify the infrastructure. That seems like a pretty common sensey sort of thing to happen. And he is planning to do that. Joe Biden, in at least the initial version of the infrastructure bill, wants to build out 500,000 charging stations. That would be more than 10 times what we have right now. It'd be like 11 or 12 times what we have right now. And at that point, I feel like in addition to home charging, work charging, that sort of thing, it should be a lot more feasible for a lot of people. And I don't think that that's getting talked about enough. Like, if it worked, if he did it, and by 2030 we had the 500,000 additional stations, I mean, that's pretty much a game changer, changing how feasible it is to switch over to these new vehicles. And that's the sort of thing, there's multiple things like this in the infrastructure bill, and you can go back to our videos where we went over the components of it. There's certainly places where it falls short, but there's a lot of good stuff in there that would be such game changers that when we do our talk about sort of the politics of passing the infrastructure bill, our frustrations about the discussions over the filibuster and stuff like that, and by the way, we're going to have some of that today, this is what the frustration is really about. It is the risk that awesome things like this funding going into EVs is not going to be there. And not just the infrastructure, but like I said, subsidizing the purchase, making it more reasonable for more and more people, especially working class people, to get this. Because right now, it's very difficult for people who don't make a good amount of money to purchase most EVs or an EV at all, especially because they're generally only going to be available new. I mean, with every passing year, there's more and more used ones and all that. We need to have that to make it more feasible for more people. This can't be just something that the rich are allowed to have. And so to think that it might get cut down to almost nothing, maybe this EV stuff will be gone, you know? I mean, if he cuts $1 trillion, I honestly don't even know at this point. They say he's cutting $1 trillion, and we'll go over those numbers. Is this still in there? And it might not pass anyway. Even then, it's just so incredibly frustrating. So that's out there. This is a potential massive game changer that would do great work for the environment. But we'll see if it ends up actually happening. Now, Matt sent in a super chat saying, Fridays are my favorite thanks to TDR. Here's $5. You earned it after your show helped me fight my landlord and get my security deposit back. I don't know exactly how I did that, but that's awesome. I'm glad that you were able to do that. Let's see. Nicole Smith upgraded their membership to Tier 2. Nicole Smith, hello and welcome. Thank you for becoming a Tier 2 member. You get access to our top 10 lists. Let's see. Rob Shively says, idea, GoFundMe to expose TYT to good pizza. I am assuming that's a response to Anna and I talking about Domino's. I've had many good pizzas. I appreciate a lot of good pizzas, but Domino's is also good pizza. Wayne Sugar says, first super chat on my iPhone. Happy Garbage Friday, Dragons. Hey, Wayne, how's it going? Speaking of which, let's get the garbage ready because we are going to have some trash. There is no way that a single one of you are going to predict who my garbage person is. And I'm going to see your comments. I'm going to see your attempts to. Atticus says the biggest change in the viability will come through the development of solid-state batteries. Yeah, I haven't, in the last year or so, I haven't really been following the battery tech that much, but the price definitely is still coming down a lot. Doomslayer Dragon says, would be nice to get an EV as my first car. That'd be awesome. I loved my EV, and it was just a little Chevy Spark, but I really liked it. Luck Dragon says, Tesla has a 25K car and solid-state batteries coming. These innovations will dynamically change EV future. Is it, do they have a $25,000 car right now? Amazon, Bezos, people think. I mean, look, that's certainly a understandable one. Melissa Garland says, hey, y'all. Sorry I'm late. Got distracted watching Lunch with Lincoln. It's live with Steve Schmidt. Lol, don't forget to hit the like. That is always great advice. Sea Salt Chip says, good morning, John. Is there a chance we get a pride emoji, maybe a pride dragon? That's a great point, too. We should do that. I believe, hold on one sec. Let me check this right now. I have a Chevy Spark. I love the Chevy Spark EV. That was a great car. I leased it. Kept it for 6 months over my lease. Really did enjoy that. Is the emoji live? So I think, I don't know, maybe you can test it. Can anyone go into the emojis and see if they see anything new? Amy upgraded their membership to Tier 2. Thank you, Amy. Appreciate that. I do want to get another electric car. The issue is not a huge fan of Tesla these days, plus too expensive. What I would want, honestly, is maybe like if they, I don't know if they still have the Spark or if my Scion IQ came in an electric version. I want a smaller one. Like, it would probably be like a Chevy Bolt or something like that. But even that it's bigger than I want. I want, you know, a small car. Like, do they make a smart EV? Smart car EV. Is that a thing? It probably doesn't get great. Oh, they do have one. I'll look into it. We'll see how far they go. It's really small. Maybe. I want like just a little bit bigger. Badger Mouse Dragons, happy Friday, Dragon Squad and DD. Thank you. Doesn't seem like anybody. Oh, so we do have the new emoji, and that is Jason Carter. So Jason is going to be joining me for this episode of the Damage Report. He's going to be throwing something in the garbage, so you can definitely expect that. And when he comes, please welcome him with his face. We need an RIP the D block emote. What about a Nissan Leaf? I've just never been super into the Nissan Leaf, and I don't believe that they have one with, like, what I want, by the way, when I get a new one. So my Chevy Spark got, like, I don't know, 70 miles on the battery or something like that. Maybe it was more than that. Maybe it was 90. I don't know. But I want one of the ones that goes, like, 230. That's what I would ideally like. A Kia Soul, that's a possibility, maybe. I don't know. How big is that? That seems pretty big, too. Doesn't seem that expensive. Well, but that's the regular version. Anyway, we'll see. And yeah, so I want something that goes over 200. Flip says Mini Cooper Electric is coming. That's a possibility. Wants an electric go-kart. Who doesn't want an electric go-kart? Umberto Gonzalez, welcome to Tier 1 YouTube membership. You now have access to the Jason Carter emoji. Someone said VW has a small EV. VW EVs. Okay, well, I'll see. I know that they just came out with their ID4, but I didn't get the impression that the ID4 was small. And I'm not sure how expensive it is either. Well, starting MSRP, oh, well, with the federal tax credit, like $33,000. We'll see. We'll see. Anyway, there is other news to get to very briefly. Joe Manchin. So, the Capitol riot, the vote for the commission looking into the Capitol riots, he said, we're going to get 10 good, there's got to be 10 good Republicans. We don't need to deal with the filibuster. So then they filibustered it. And it didn't happen. So, let's see. This is Manu Raju says, what evidence do you have that Mitch McConnell wants to work with you? Last week he blocked a commission bill and he could have, and you're saying that he wants to work with you? And Manchin says, I'm not saying that one's dead either. I'm not saying that one's dead either, you know. I was very disappointed. I think it was wrong what he did, and I've said that. He knows how I feel about that. It was totally everything they asked for. It was totally bipartisan. Okay, we're going to pause there. And that's the fucking point, Joe Manchin. Yes, and again, he knows exactly what's going on. He's being a massive liar here. I was very disappointed. You were disappointed that they would use the power you're ensuring they will have. Why are you disappointed? Of course they're going to do that. We gave them everything. It was totally bipartisan. Yeah. So you understand the fucking problem here, that bipartisanship that you focus on is an outcome-based bipartisanship, that somehow, I don't know, they'll vote with us. No, you've already done the part that you feel like is necessary for the American traditions or whatever, which is, this is something that both Democrats and Republicans out there actually want. You already gave them concessions. You already did all of the shit that you're supposed to do, that in your addled-lying mind is going to result in outcome bipartisanship, which is their votes, and they didn't do it. So, are we going to learn any lessons from this? Are we going to learn anything? But no, because he continues. It was totally bipartisan. I think Nancy Pelosi was very gracious in what she had offered, basically making it totally bipartisan. Chuck Schumer said, okay, I'll do the same. Everything was done in the most bipartisan way, and for him, Raju cuts in, but they blocked it because of the filibuster. And Manchin says, well, one person blocked it on that. But the bottom line is we have 7 people, 6 that voted, 7 would. We need 3 more. Let's give it another shot. No one person blocked it on that. You could not get 60 votes to break their predictable filibuster. That's not one person. That's the majority at that point, being unable to get what they want. And he will go on to say, let's see, you can't make it work unless the minority has input. But that's not what we're fucking talking about. They have input in a million forms. The filibuster does not give them input. The filibuster gives them a veto on virtually everything that happens there. It gives them, in effect, the ability to take away your input. Because Joe Manchin might have things that he wants out of the Capitol Commission that are different than other Democrats. He might have things that he wants out of the infrastructure bill that are different from other Democrats. His input is fucking irrelevant because we're not getting fucking anything. Because he has given them the filibuster. And of course he knows every bit of this. He's fucking lying about bipartisanship. Like, they set up... Just don't even say anything, man. Don't say anything. Because when you say, no, I think we can get 10, we can make them work together, it's bipartisan, and then they smack you down, your lie becomes unavoidable, okay? It's just thrown in our face that you're lying to us. Joe Manchin. Anyway, we're going to have a little bit more on that coming up, too. No, I'm not going to be having someone convert my car to an electric. That does not seem like a good idea. How to take it back to the beginning to see if John nailed the intro. And he did, yes. Usually waiting about 8 seconds is the way to go. I've heard that the F-150 Lightning is sweet, but I'm not going to buy a massive truck like that just to have an EV, and I think that is pretty expensive. But I'm glad they're making it. Kirsty says, John, people want to vote and the community tab isn't working. Thanks for getting us through these tough times. Okay. I don't know why. Apologies. No matter what it is, though, there's no way I can fix it right now, but sorry. May Money to Billy says, yay, thanks to the graphics team for adding Jason's emoji. Love Jason. Happy Friday from the Witch Queen of Oakland Dragon. I think that was May Money's suggestion, actually, and now it's here. Lawrence Wells says, today's the first 4th June. Hong Kongers are not allowed to commemorate the Tiananmen massacre. The last place in China where this can happen is officially gone. When will there be justice? Your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay, let's see. Kathy says, my garbage horse is Mike Lindell for suggesting Trump can be reinstated as president. That's a good one. That's a good one. That might be on the list, I wonder. Ryan says, do you think the constant recount efforts and excuse of our constituents questioning the integrity will be used to flip the Senate in 2022? That's a fine point, but no, I don't know that it will, but not because I think it'll be stopped. I don't know that it will because I don't know that it will actually be necessary, I guess I would say. Facebook has set Trump's ban at 2 years. Okay, well, thank you for that news. Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, Doomslayer Dragon says, you keep using that word, Senator Manchin. I don't think it means what you think it means, the bipartisanship. Yeah. Yeah, no, but he does know what he means. Joe says, it wasn't one person, it was two, Manchin and Sinema. Well, yeah, Sinema didn't even vote on that. Jay Smart says, I truly believe conservatives hate critical race theory because they're protecting their families. They don't want the identities of people who committed unimaginable violence to ever be revealed. Maybe. I don't think that it requires that they think that, you know, there's something in their own past. I think that it's convenient to them for a lot of different reasons. By the way, I don't have time to read this right now, but definitely go and take a look at the guest essay in the New York Times from Tom Hanks about, Sea Salt Chips is posting about it literally right now, about the Tulsa Race Massacre. It's great. It's short, you know, but I love Tom Hanks. How great is Tom Hanks? Anyway, what I did want to talk about, though, was Georgia. The State Board of Education just banned, effectively, discussions of white supremacy or racism. And if you go to the Twitter account Free Your Mind, back yesterday, Free Your Mind Kid, I should say, posted the entire resolution. And it's a whole bunch of nonsense. But the only point I really want to make about this is, so this is something that multiple states are doing, okay? They're saying, how dare you pretend that there's some sort of historic or current problem in America with systemic racism. That's crazy. It's so crazy, so unacceptable that we are not going to allow you to lie to our kids about it. So we are going to ban it. We're going to ban that discussion. And so I will just say that if the point you are trying to make is that America has no problems with race, no past problems with white supremacy or the interests of white people being pursued, no systemic racism where government and society work together to advance the interests of one race over another, well, then having multiple state governments virtually entirely filled with white people protect the racist interests of racists to hide and obscure their past and present racism in official form that we can read, that's a weird way to make that point, that systemic racism doesn't exist. How many state governments can ban discussion of systemic racism before you start to wonder if there's something systemic going on? Something perhaps a little bit racist going on? It's not going to obviously convince any of them. This is too convenient. Like, it's not that Georgia care. Like, Georgia's schools are what, like 47th in the country, maybe 50th in the country. I don't know. They're probably in the bottom 5. This is the change they need. This is what their schools have been lacking. A ban on discussions of fundamental aspects of our government, our society, our history, our politics, all of it. But that's what they're doing. Anyway, if you'd like more information about it and their bullshit arguments as to why they had to do that, as I said, it's on Twitter, Free Your Mind Kid. You can see that. it's mashed up the same day that, or the same week, I should say, that we're getting all this recognition now of Tulsa and people learning about these other massacres. We did a video yesterday where we were talking about some others that people just now starting to learn about. Cancel culture is bad. You can cancel literally an entire topic's worth of conversation for kids. You can cancel their ability to understand their history, but it's probably some problem of the left. I should probably buy into that narrative. Yeah. Anyway, okay, guys, I know that you're flooding me with clocks. I know, tick-tock, tick-tock. Okay, well, everyone, we have got the Friday show coming up. We've got Jason Carter coming up. We've got Garbage coming up, and then eventually going down into this can. So hope you'll be there either here or twitch.tv/TYT. I'll see you then.